Hello, thank you for tuning in. My name is Larry Duncan Allen. This is No More War to Fire Next Time. I'm back in the office tonight. I hadn't done it from here in a while. I've been doing it from home. But as many as you know today, you know about the picture, the meme that the Trump put out there about Barack and Michelle Obama about them being animals. Uh, just normal white behavior. They've been doing the same thing for 400 years. They never grow up. If you notice, we don't even have any racist names for them anymore. We never had racist names. We have racial names to counteract their racist name. So they're racist. We do racial things to counteract what they're doing. See what happened is we had names for them, back in the 60s and 70s and crackers and hunkies. We don't even use those names anymore. We grew up. They did. They've been doing the same thing for 400 years. Yet they think this surprises us. I'll tell you why. Okay, they Tim Scott. Let me show you this video thing about Tim Scott before I make this statement. I'm gonna go right into his thing. Before I make this statement, I want you to hear his response.
So Tim Tap Dancing Scott said, praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out the White House. The president should remove it. The raccoons are dying inside right now. You can't put the coon cloak over this? You can't you can't explain this? You can't explain this away? The raccoons are doing mental gymnastics right now so that they cannot face the reality of racism. The funny thing about people like Tim Scott and Candace Owens and Officer Tatum and Hodge twins, right, is that all of them have experienced racism at a high level, and they fight so hard to not accept it. Like right now, this is Tim Scott's like nightmare right now. This is Tim Scott's like worst possible nightmare right now. You conquistadors absolutely deserve this, right? Blacks for Trump, right? Come on, right? This is your people. And on Black History Month.
As you all know, Tim Scott, he's the black guy that he lobbies for Trump, or he tell Trump he love him. Trump canceled the program where he is. He responded by telling Trump how much he loved him. But see, what happens is, um, he said this is the most racist thing they seen come out of the White House. Haven't they looked at Trump's policies? He's they're trying to cancel um, the Civil Rights Bill, the Voting Rights Bill. I believe they had it in that big ugly bill that's coming into effect. Because we're really going to be right back at Jim Crow. It's just that the problem with it this time is that so a lot of white people being affected. It's hurting them more than us this time. But out of all of these racist policies aimed at black people, they're canceling our name out of everything, out of school, out of textbooks. Everything about us in textbooks. Just numerous racist policies. But this is what get people stirred up. A meme, a photo. After all this man has done, all of his life with black people, the way he did with Obama with the birthright and with the Central Park Five, the way he did all he could to keep black people from renting in his building, why they want to, I don't know why. I can't tell. I wouldn't want to rent from his building. But look, but now all of a sudden he posts a photo, and now everyone's up in arms. Oh, he's a racist. You just not figuring that out. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't care who's a racist. You can be racist all you want to, just don't bother me with it. Because you're going to do that anyway. So why should I worry about it? See what Trump and all his people are doing. They want black people in the streets so bad. They just doing everything to try to get under our skin, to get us out there protesting. And they got these people putting up fake videos about black people, why aren't you helping us? All that stuff is made up to try to get black people out there. If we wanted to go out, we'd be out. We didn't beg anyone. And see these white people, they're not mad enough. And I don't really take them serious because I know how white folks is. When they protest, they tear up. Don't nobody come to them talking about be peaceful. Because then they know that they're not going to be. See, during black protests, there may be some people come and burn something and loot stores, but it's not the protesters. Matter of fact, in Ferguson, the protesters got tired of it and left off the line because I was recording it. Because I told you I don't protest. I don't believe in peaceful protest. But the protesters left the line and went and stopped the protest because the police wouldn't do anything. But white people, their protest is to be violent. That's why Black Lives Matters 5 years ago was so violent. Then the most black protests because when have you seen a black protest where they, like in Minneapolis, when they ran into the police station, ran the police out and burned down the police station? When have you seen all of that? People getting unalived at the protest. You know why? It was mostly white people in Black Lives Matters. Black people stopped protesting after Ferguson in numbers. I would go to and live stream a Black Lives Matter protest. I told you this before. Everyone on the stage was black. I turned to they said it was 600 people out there. I turned to shoot the audience. I couldn't find a black person. There are Lives Matter protests in all white cities where there was not a black person. That's why they started this anti-woke program. They thought white people was waking up, so they want to put them back to sleep. That's aimed at them. Who in their right mind would say, "Oh yeah, okay, I'll be asleep. I don't want to be woke. I don't want to learn." But they play on their racism. And they know they can get them every time. But there, no sensible person would want somebody to tell them not to learn, stay woke. I mean, stay asleep, don't be woke. No one in their right mind, but their racism drives them crazy. But look, one picture. Now all the Republicans had something to say. It's gonna blow over just like everything else. The Democratic senators, I'm so tired of them and Democratic senators and Congress people. But the Democratic politicians, they're so weak. They're so weak. When they see what it is, the system is a white system. When they don't have racism to fuel it, they're weak. The Democratic side at least try to play like they're not racist. So they can't openly show it. So they don't have racism to fuel it. That's why they're weak. The black people in Congress are talking out more than anyone because they don't need racism to fuel them, except for Hakeem Jeffries and Cory Booker. They need to put some balls on the wall because man, they're a little weak. They're trying to play by the old system, like when we had a constitution. They're always the reactionaries. They're never coming out with something. Well, if they gerrymander in this state, we're waiting to see what they're going to do. If they do it, we're going to do it. So why you got to wait on them? The Republicans been gerrymandering for years, decades, and you're just now catching up. That's why they're a much smaller party than you. There's much less Republicans than Democrats. They have no business even winning elections. You let them gerrymander and talk to people, put up all this AI stuff to talk to people to staying at home. They've been outmaneuvering you. and you don't get your message out there, they get theirs out there. Every Democratic president has been the biggest deporter of immigrants. Republican presidents has every Democratic president has deported more people than any Republican president in history. And Obama is the top man, but they don't put that out there. They said, well, Biden, he opened the gates, he was just letting anyone in. The president don't set immigration policies. Congress does. So how was Biden doing it? Biden, in this time when he was in office, he deported more people than Trump has. Trump really hasn't deported that many people. What they're doing, they're just putting up a lot of theatrics. Most of the people they take away, they detain, end up being let go. The ICE agents are doing anything to, they're even taking citizens because they have a quota. They don't care who they get. They know those people going to be let go, but they got to fill their quota. So the racism is very expensive for white people. So I don't care about who's racist. What can they do that they haven't done before in 400 years? A picture. After all Trump's done, that's all people can think of is a picture to say he's racist. His policies didn't make you catch on. I could care less about that picture. I go on about my, see, they can go on about my business. I do it because this is, I'm a content creator. I talk about world affairs. Once I leave here, I don't think about this stuff. Don't let nothing stress you out. Keep your sanity. I see people out in the street, they come to me, yeah, I know you somebody want to talk to me about what I talk on here. I change the subject. I don't worry about this stuff, and don't you worry about it. I know we got to deal with it. We have to know about it. Don't let this stuff worry you. Don't let this worry you about what Trump is. We already knew what he was. We knew that when he first ran. You know what the majority of them are. Sometimes I've had friends. I had to check them. Both been my white friends. When I was in L.A., come said him having a Mexican friend. He stole some expensive boots from me. That's why I say that. Well, who can a black person have for a friend? Black folks, we don't make good friends. We're not good with personal relationships. That's why we have trouble with the trouble with the black man and black woman. I'm gonna get back to my subject. That has to do more than just the man and woman. It has to do with black people. We don't get along with each other personally because of this ideology we came up under. Many of us are white supremacists in mind. We believe the same thing they do. Black is inferior. Something's wrong with black people. You say, well, a lot of white people, they see you coming, they're like you're going to do something to them. Black people do it too. You come up to ask them a question, they're looking at you like that, almost like they already hit you. So, we think just like they do. Sometimes I have to catch myself, and I know better. Because I came up under that same ideology. There's a culture of against black people. The ideology of this nation. And all of us been through it, even if we don't realize it. And that's why you and that black woman can't get along. But you can go to these other women and get along fine with them. That's why when she get around the white man, she's more respectful. And never talk against him, but talk against us all day long. That's part of that ideology. That black is inferior. There's something wrong with us. We got it in us too. How the saying goes, teach the oppressor to hate themselves. And the oppressed no longer has to be present because they will oppress themselves. And we do that. We only come together when we think somebody has done something against our race, like with white people. And we only do that for a little time till it boils over, then you go right back loving them. White people have a love hate, black people have a love hate relationship with white people. You don't really hate them, but you're upset because they don't love you back. Like a lover who has a love of them, they still love them. They get angry at some stuff that they do, but you're really upset because they still showing you that they don't love you back. I'm not saying all black people white love white people, but you like them better than you do us. The majority of us, even if you don't realize it. I was talking to a black woman one day outside of a church. I was going to set up some equipment. This was a church out in the South End. And there was a white guy who worked for me at the time. And I went with him in his truck. He had a truck. And there was this black woman. She was part of the production that they was having. And he was old scraggly looking white man, wore the same clothes every day. She was standing talking to him. I was getting some stuff out of the truck. I was on the other side. She all up in the man's face talking to him. But every time I came around her, she backed up about 8 feet. And then I leave, go back to the side street. She come right back up in his face. I come back, she back up again about 8 feet. You know the worst part of that? She don't even realize she's doing that. She don't realize it. It's ingrained. White is right. Black is wrong. And you ever notice when a black woman talk to a white man, how she's all up in his face? It's ingrained. Many of us are racist towards our own. I won't say we're racist. We're racial towards our own. They're racist. Most of what we do is racial things to counteract their racist things. But when it comes to our own, we do have some bad feelings about our own. And that's why many times I've seen black people. I can say many times. I was ready to say something else by the start of this. I've seen pictures where black people have put up black people looking like monkeys. I've seen that a lot. Not a whole lot, but more than I should have seen it. And what was their problem? See, we hate when other folks do this stuff. But many times we do it too. It's not too much white folks do to us as far as the hate part is concerned that we don't do to each other. That's who I'm more worried about. We know what they're going to do. I used to take some children, play ball, field trip. You remember R.J. Krause? Well, when he passed away, I was with him, helping him out. And he would be my announcer on the games. And he passed away. The kids still wanted to go places. So I started taking them. Cardinals games, the East Side games, and then I would take them out to eat like at McDonald's or Burger King. And see R.J. Krause, he was getting money from Catholic charities and donations. I was doing it out of my pocket. And but that's not the point. The point is this. When I would be with RJ, those people would send their kids, their daughters, their sons, and see, and I treat their children well because for a person to treat you with their children, especially small children, and the girls too, that's the greatest trust they can show you. Anyone who lets you take their children somewhere, that's the greatest trust they can show you. That's why I don't see how anyone can betray their trust and not treat their children right. I never yelled at the children. I would talk strongly at some, but I'm just not a yelling person. Of the children that I've been with, helped raise, I can say this. I have one son and one daughter. I never spanked a child in my life. Never had to. I talk to these kids. Yeah. Many black children are not raised up. I'm gonna get back to myself now. This came to myself. I'm gonna do a show about this one day. I did one, I think, before about how black children are not raised up. They're bullied up. You don't tell them why they should do this just because I said so. Let them know why I said they'll know not to do it. If you treat them, raise them like that, they just act right when they're around you. But look, we're getting back to my point. When RJ would take those children, I'd be with them. Children go say nothing. When I start taking them, where y'all going? What time you gonna be back? They're so curious all of a sudden. But they trust the white man with their children. But you know who bothers children more? Look at the statistics. 78% white men. I think it's 10% Latino. Then the people of color and Asian, there's not a whole lot of them. They take up the rest. You know who comes in dead last? Black men at 4%. But yet they trust these white men, but won't trust the black man. See what I'm talking about? They gonna be racist, white folks. We know that. But what I'm worried about is you black racists. Well, when I'm saying racist, black race, I'm gonna say racist just to make the point. I know we're more racial than racist, but I'm more worried about you doing stuff like that than them. I don't have to be around them. It's you who I'm around. We've endured this stuff all this time. Not saying that it should happen, it should be, but what are we going to do about it? If we had kept our own like we had, we wouldn't have to go around to them like we do now. We gave up our stuff. Now we got to run in their neighborhoods, make their neighborhoods rich. Say, well, let's shop in black businesses. I don't know where other people are at, but in most black neighborhoods, there are no black businesses to shop at. You got all these foreigners. And how can the money change hands with black people? The foreigners taking money right out. They say the black community goes bankrupt every evening. All the money that came in go right back out. Never change hands. So that's why they don't have to do a Rosewood or a Black Wall Street. We to stop our economic progress. The money never come back and roll around in our hands anyway. That's the new Black Wall Street and Rosewood. That's how they keep wealth away from us, by letting foreigners come in here and open business. Excuse me. And we go along with it. We'll keep their places packed. But a black person can have that business and you barely come. I'm gonna tell you, I'm talking about a lot of the black races or racial, whatever way you want to put it. I remember when a lot of when I was a kid, back in the '70s, a lot of black business was changing ownership to white business. I'm sorry, a lot of white businesses. The white people was leaving the ownership, and the black people was buying the business. Excuse me. Here's what happened. There was a lot of people going into those white people stores and businesses. When the black people took it over, they're still going all out to Collinsville and different places. Going follow the white people out to their business rather than shop with those black people. Even my family did it. There was a cleaner on the corner. White people had it. We took a lot of clothes there and got it out on Saturday for church the next day, every Saturday. The black man took it over there. He said, "Boy, y'all one of my biggest customers." Next thing I know, we started taking out to the cleaners. I was a kid. I didn't realize at the time. We started going out to some white folks, cleaners, far away. Oh, they got cheaper prices. But look how far you had to drive. Yeah, we tell black people open a business. A black person would do better open business and around other people in a white neighborhood or something. And you're not gonna open a Chinese. Chinese not gonna let you in their neighborhood, neither are the Arabs or any of these black immigrants, Haitians and Africans and all. Try to open up a business in a Somali neighborhood. They didn't even want the black people in their stores. So see that Chinese store that heard the people in East St. Louis know who I'm talking about on 38th and State, making millionaires out of them. They have traffic blocked every day, and they don't even think enough of you to make a bigger lot. I rent the part of the lot next door to them. The man's got a big lot. Little small lot hold 4 or 5 cars. They had 20, 30 cars around there. Blocking traffic. You can't even get through on 38th Street. I remember when that shop barely could get a customer. You know when it changed? After COVID. When the white folks got on the Chinese. See, black people got this thing here. I know you're talking about it's about Trump. Now it's about us. We got to stop this racism towards each other too. Or racial acts towards each other. 9/11. Black people were going to Arab stores. I don't say Arab, I correctly pronounce correctly. Arab. Black people weren't going into Arab stores like that. 9/11 happened. White people started mistreating the Arabs. Black people think if white people mistreat them, let's make them our ally. Then when black people really started running all up in these Arab stores. Okay, COVID happened. White people was getting on the Asians. Black people figured that make them our ally. Start packing these Asian places. I remember that's on 38th Street wasn't getting much business. But see what happens, you found out. Those people aren't our allies. We don't have any allies. If anything, we have more white allies than any African or any other black people or people of color. With the black Americans, we're by ourselves. We don't have any friends. We don't have any allies. If we do, they're white. Because these other people are not. But still, to get all upset over what Donald Trump posted, which I think the people, they shouldn't let him get away with. You just can't say nothing. But at the same time, I let them do it. I don't care. I don't care what he posts. It's the policies you should be concerned about. And I'm not too worried about those. What can they do that they haven't already done? Project 2025 is hurting them more than us. I knew that when I first read it. It's gonna hurt them. Who's crying? We're not. They are. And I hope well, I tell you, since DEI and affirmative action, I know black people didn't benefit much from that. That was really for them too. They just put a black face on it. The post office has really gotten messed up. I have packages say it's out for delivery. It still don't come. And this happened quite a few times. They better put some of them DEI folks and affirmative action folks back in there who know what they're doing. But still, and I don't see no need of just blowing a fuse over what Trump did. What did he do that you didn't already know? We already knew how he was. Everyone does. And these white folks are with this protesting. I'm telling you, they're not serious. If they would see, I know how white folks are. They would tear this country up if they were serious. They don't play like that. They say that peaceful protest stuff for us. They don't protest peacefully. That's the point I was getting ready to make, but I stir it off. They're not peaceful protesters. When they don't get their way, they ready to mess something up. And they are stepping on a lot of white toes now. Those two that got unalived in Minnesota, I'm not going to say the name. The only name I say is Keith Porter Jr. Black man, unalived by ICE. And off-duty ICE agent on New Year's Eve, which no one, that I can't say no one, but most people don't talk about. Don't even mention him. So if you can't say his name, I can't say their name. But that man and that woman, that wasn't supposed to be white people. Even the Somalians not getting out there protesting. And they were the reason cause of the whole thing. How you gonna help someone who won't help themselves? But they know they better not, they may get shipped off. I'm gonna be honest with you. Having immigrants here haven't helped us one bit. Donald Trump policy is racist. It's to stop the browning of the United States. And you know what? It's worse than they say it is. They weren't concerned about brown people at first until they helped to elect Obama. That put up a red flag for them. Because see, all these immigrants, they used to vote Republican. When I lived in LA, you couldn't get the Hispanics to vote for a black candidate for anything. It was more black people in LA then. There's not that many left. But they fooled them and voted for Obama. And they've been in the doghouse ever since. Ever since they have put Obama in. Remember, that's when they started talking about the browning of the United States. And the Epstein files, when they were talking about black people. They were talking about voting. And this was like maybe before, when Trump first ran. They were talking about the black population. And how at that time, they said we're 13% of the population, right? Excuse me. At that time, they told the truth. This was in 2015. That black people was actually 20% of the population, which would put our population at 70 million, not 43. And we was 50 million back in the 70s. Well, 28 million was killed in abortion, was unalive in abortions, babies. We're not getting married. Women are not having as many children as they used to. But they told the truth. We were at 20 million back in 2015. We've always said we was always undercounted. I'm going to play another video for you so I can clear my throat. This is the one that the people put up here.
On the 6th day of Black History Month, the president posted an extremely racist image of the Obamas, depicting them as monkeys. Let's talk about it. Now, my OG followers already know that if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. If you're not following the Black Death Society, please make sure to do so. This is a space in which pop culture, politics, and money meet. Last night, the president went on a massive social media spree. In the span of 3 hours, he posted 60 posts. One of those posts included a depiction of the Obama's faces, Michelle and Barack Obama's faces, on the bodies of monkeys. In the 1-minute video that included depictions of the Obama at the end, the video focused on the 2020 election and once again focused on unsubstantiated claims that the election was stolen from the president. In the post, it shows the Obamas for a quick couple of seconds, and it shows them dancing. As I said before, their faces are on the bodies of monkeys and dancing to the song "In the Jungle, the Lion Sleeps Tonight." And to that, I want to say flat out and plainly, the president is racist. Full stop. There is no way that you can say that he is not racist. He is very racist and very intentional on what he is posting. He knows the reaction that he will get, and he does not care. I don't want to play this story small. I don't want it to be said that this is just Trump being Trump. The office of the president is supposed to be representative of everyone. These depictions of the Obamas are unacceptable, and they should not just be treated as a joke. We still have 1,079 days left in this administration, and I'm wondering, where do we go from here? Sound off in the comments. I want to hear from you. What do you think about this post from the president? Are you surprised? Or are you not surprised? Let me know. If you found value in this post, please make sure to like as well as share. And don't forget to follow the Black Justice.
But to be honest with you, I don't really care. There's other things he's doing that's more important than a meme. He's claiming they're claiming I'm one of the staffers did it. Could be, you know why? I've said before, I don't believe that Trump posting all that stuff. He don't have the cognitive mind to do that. And to post all this and put all that stuff together, you know, there's not Trump doing that. But still, he's responsible because he's got a team doing it for him. And what his team does, he's responsible for. The fact that what they think of us, I don't care. We already know how they feel about us. This is unacceptable. What you gonna do about it? We've been accepting it. We may not been accepting it, but they've been doing it for 400 years. There's nothing we can do about it, so why worry about it? If black people had just went on and ignored this, then they leave it alone. They want to rise out of it. If you see a Proud Boy, Klan, march, anything, everybody needs to just point and laugh at them, talk about them, and just be laughing at them. Don't show any anger. They get in the back of their U-Haul and take off. They want to rise out of you. That's the reason they do this stuff. They post all kinds of stuff about us on Facebook. That be them posting a lot of those fights, and a lot of it's made up. They said a lot of that stuff, them fights and all you see about black people, is made in Nigeria, China, and India. Black people aren't making that stuff. Those posts you saw, see, they try to use social media to get black people to do things. Those posts you saw about when they were talking about Stop and Snap, and you saw those posts about black women talking about running up in stores and taking what they want. That's what they wanted you to do. All of that was AI. I know AI when I see it. This is my business. It's getting better. One day I may not be able to tell, but right now I can. Listen to the audio. It sounds hollow. And the AI don't do hands and hand gestures very well. You may see them with 6 fingers on one hand, or the fingers moving kind of crazy, sometimes even their eyes. Who can hit someone in a fight, hit someone in the face 20 times? No swelling, no blood. They all get up and walk away without a mark on them. You just got busted in the face 20 times. They post that stuff. That's to keep white folks talking stuff about us. They post stuff about women running up in the stores taking groceries. So you could do that. But you know what happened? It didn't work. Nothing they're doing against us is working. They think if they do this racist thing, we'll get angry, we'll get out in the streets. They want us out there so bad. But most of us know the assignment. Oh, you're going to have a few. I see some of those content creators getting on social media, which I think they're paid to do. trying to get black people to get out there. I don't want to think about them. We living our lives. They have that guy supposed to have been with the Black Panthers. They found out he was a fraud. He's Palestinian. He had some black features about him, but some Palestinians didn't do. There's people all over the world. You got some Chinese got black features about them because one of their parents may be black. Oh, they treat them like trash over in China too. The black Chinese. In Palestine, there are 11,000 black people living on the Gaza Strip. I told you this before. They had to stay all in one area called Al Habib, which means the slave. They heckled the black woman when they went down the street, heckled them, heckled the black men, called them names. The black people couldn't hardly get jobs. They were being oppressed, but still found time. They still found time to oppress black people. That's why I don't care nothing about the Palestinians. I don't care nothing about Israel or the Ukrainians, the French, none of them. I don't care nothing about Haiti, Jamaica. They don't care about us. Mexico, none of these immigrants. I don't care nothing about the white immigrants. They're not going to deport them. And but you even notice, you don't see any white people immigrating here to come here to stay like Trump wants them to. You know why? The European white people don't like the American white people. They live better over there than they do here. They don't have to work themselves to death just to pay bills. Live paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, you make more money here, but they got a lot of stuff in other parts of the world you don't have to pay for that you have to pay for here. You don't have to pay for health care in most parts of the world, including Africa. You don't have to work yourself like a dog. You don't have to. Some places you don't even have to pay for utility, for electricity. That's why people here who get a Social Security check go move to another part of the world. You can still get your check, not by mail, but get it direct deposit. They go down to Mexico, other places in the world, live like a king, off of that Social Security check that has them living in poverty here. But they find out this is not the greatest nation in the world. Go to China, India, Africa, Nigeria, Ghana. Look at their city skyline. Look like something out of a sci-fi movie. All the colors, and all the glitz, and all fancy. And compared to with the United States skyline, their infrastructure. They don't have those overhead electric poles all downtown. I don't know about the outlying areas. Theirs is underground. You know why they got it? Most of their infrastructure is post World War II. The United States is pre-World War II because much of Europe was destroyed and the other people just started building. So they built all this stuff, power lines to go underground. The United States never repaired its infrastructure. A lot of us are still using the same sewer system they used back in the 1800s. You know why? The United States, after World War II, spent all this money on military stuff, fighting wars, trying to police the whole world. Say you was doing it for democracy when you was doing it for resources and oil, because you kicked out democratically elected presidents in the Congo and Iran and put in dictators because you wanted to keep that oil coming. The United States and the British Petroleum did it in Iran. The United States and the French did it in the Congo and put in a dictator. That's what the Iranian hostage crisis was about. They kicked the Shah out. And see, those Europeans do not want to come over here. He extended the invitation. He did to the South Africans. throughout them ocean, they're being mistreated over there. They're 8% of the population. They control most of the wealth and 70% of the farmland. See, white people feel if they don't have it all, they're being mistreated. They think even if they have to play on the if they have to play on the equal playing field, they feel the game is rigged against them. They see equality as oppression for them. He brought those white people over to the United States, 59 of them. No more came since then. They're being so oppressed why it only stopped at 59. And they say some of them have went back. Those white folks have it good over in South Africa. Why they let them stay? The South Africans, I don't know. I'd have booted them all out. You don't they were invaders. You don't get rid of your invaders and let them stay. The United States found that out after the Civil War. They kept embracing the Confederacy. Now it's about to rise again. Should have dealt with it then. So you see, what they're doing, trying to take this nation back to those 1800 racist policy, this is not that type of world anymore. And they don't even realize it's hurting white people more than us. And they're turning a lot of white people against them. Their policies are supposed to be racist against us. So I don't care about no meme or cartoon they put up. That's childish behavior, you know. They've been doing the childish behavior towards black people for 400 years. What can they say or do that they haven't already said or did before? I see a lot of black people out on social media. Oh, I'm so hurt, I'm so appalled. You're going to be hurt and appalled for the rest of your life if you worry about that kind of stuff. I'm surprised you haven't been hurt and appalled all of your life. They've done a lot worse than that. I'd rather you black people. I'm not worried about white people being racist. That's who they are. That's what they're going to do. I'm concerned about black people thinking like them and not caring about each other. I could care less about them. And what they decide to do is what we decide to do. I'm not saying, I know you have some white friends who are good people. I do too. But they know if they don't know I'm not talking about them, then they got a problem. The thing is, quit worrying about some little mess Trump put out there, worrying yourself about that, something you can't do anything about. I remember one time at Walmart, got somebody, yeah, I'm racist, told me that. And what you telling me for? I don't care. I told him I am too. I'm really, really sure. I said it just to get a rise out of him. He wasn't expecting that. They expect you to break down. Oh, why you don't like black people? I don't care. I'd rather black people start liking black people. Why do you care if they like you or not? Why does it make such a big difference to you? Because you like them, don't you? You like them, and you want them to like you. People only care about people who don't like them when it's a person who they want to like them. If they don't want that person to like them, it wouldn't make them any difference how that person feel about them. It hurt you because he put a picture up. They're trying to repeal the Civil Rights Bill, affirmative action, trying to wipe us out of history And you worry about a picture or a meme? That's what got you hurt? That's what got you concerned? That's the strategy. Keeps your mind on all that little petty stuff while they get you with the big stuff over here. Like a bait and switch. Hey, look at this shiny object over here. While they're destroying you over there. Let him post all the memes he wants. Why do you care? It upsets me. Why? All this time you still getting upset at that? It didn't upset me. Nothing they do upset me. I mean, I like it, but it don't upset me. And you have to get to that point. That's what they want to do. Upset you, hurt you. Don't let that happen. They want to get in your mind. That's what oppressor does, get in your mind. The reason, and let me bring this up, a lot of people say that how could those women and all that, Epstein and Trump, and even R. Kelly, Diddy, and all of them, were doing things too. How them grown women, they take that all the time. They must have liked it. Many of those people know how to get in people's mind. He can get in a person's mind. Trump is in a lot of these MAGA people's mind. And that's why some people, a MAGA person, I don't even waste my time with them. Because they're going to think what they want to think. Are you and them going to go back and forward at it? You're going to leave the same way you came. They're going to leave the same way that they came. I do not waste my time because it's not that important to me about who they're for. I'm more concerned about who we're for. And black people, we've been fractionalized. So it's like black men and black women are two different entities now. Black women now call themselves the 92 percenters. And the black men, the 89 percenters. Or is it 84? I'm in so many different numbers, but see, when you look at the numbers of who voted for Trump, black women is really like they're at 92%. Now I'm hearing black men are really like usually the 84 or 89%. So that means 9 out of every 10 black women voted for Kamala Harris. 8 out of every 10 black men voted for Kamala Harris. When you look at the fact that there's many more black female voters than male, black women actually voted more for Trump, numeral-wise. So it really kind of balances itself out. But they didn't used to do that. They used to say the black votes, put together and say the black vote. Now they're going to say black men and black women. Black women can't even hardly say black people anymore. Black men only talk about black people. Black women talk about black women. So that's the kind of divide I worry about. About Trump being racist, don't like us, I don't care. That divide, but really women cause the divide, not the men. Don't quit letting them pump your head up to my you're the most educated. You're not. Most of you are not doing well. You're talking about the ones who are going to college, and many of them are not graduating. And college is not education. College is training. You're educated from K through 12. College is training. It's a 4-year trade school. And for 2 years, you learn a lot of BS you're not going to use anyway. Most people don't even declare their major until their junior year. A lot of them, even in college, party and play around until their junior year. Even with your degree, black men still out earn you. 'Cause men can come out of high school, get jobs that pay high wages. Women jobs, women primary. I'm saying this because of the divide between us. The jobs women get don't pay high wage. They have to go get a degree to get a decent salary. Men don't. Plus, a lot of men go to trade school. Most millionaires don't come from college; they come from the trades. So when you get done with all of that, start making a little money, feel like you don't need a man no more. When you get stuck in your head busting and quit talking about we're not protected. Wait a minute. Where your husband at? That's who's supposed to protect you. Not every random man in the street. Stop the divide. And you all going out there starting stuff in the street. No man gonna come up there and rescue you. There's a difference between protection and rescuing you from some mess you didn't get yourself into. I'm not going out there breaking up no fights. You'll be fighting all night if you're waiting for me to come break it up. Because look, we got to divide among us. Those are the type of things we need to try to repair. Trying to stop a racist from racism, you're wasting your time. I really don't care who's a racist because we've had racists running the system all the time. We have those who weren't running it. And it wasn't that much difference. Trump is just Reagan on steroids. And Nixon. Nixon first started off. Remember, Nixon started the crime bill to put black men in jail because they know when you go to prison, you can be used as slave labor. Remember how they used to have them on the chain gang? They used to arrest a lot of black people. See, the police is nothing but slave catchers. That's what their first job was. Remember, they used to have marshals and constables and sheriffs and deputies. Since like the county sheriff, they used to be the real police. The police department was actually slave catchers. So that's why I would say racism. Why do we always act like it's something new? You know what it is with Trump? He's like a person who stopped you from getting red line, stopped you from getting a house, keeping you from getting a decent job, stopped your voting rights, eliminating you from history books, just done all type of racist things that affect your life. But you get angry over one who come up and call you the N-word. Because it's the one who called you the N-word. That's what it was like with Trump. That meme that he put up, that was the N-word. And you're more angry about that than about his racist policies. It's actually can affect your life. The shiny object. Quit wasting your time with that kind of stuff. Who don't like me? What if Trump start liking you tomorrow? What's that gonna change? Racism is an ideology. And it costs them a lot. It's expensive for them. They used to have free swimming pools. What do they have now? It used to be all over white areas. You know what happened? When the black people started coming, they filled in the pool, paved them over, because they didn't want black people swimming in their pool. At East St. Louis Senior High School, when black church, see, Lincoln used to be, the people in town who know what I'm talking about. People other places don't know, but here in this town, Lincoln High School was for black people. East St. Louis Senior High School was for white. The when the black children started coming to East St. Louis Senior High School, they had a swimming pool. They didn't want the black kids swimming in the pool with the white kids. So what they did, they filled in the pool with concrete, put a gym floor over it, and called it the girls' gym. That girls' gym at East St. Louis Senior High School used to be a swimming pool area. The Majestic Theater in East St. Louis. Everybody tried to make a big deal out. Tear that mess down. Let's put some good efficient buildings there. It's got a beautiful facade. So what? You know what? You know why it closed? When it was open, black people couldn't come there. When they had to start letting black people in, they closed it down. See, when they say about they did that instead of let black people come. Let me finish that thought before I start my next. And see, they when they talk about the rich history of East St. Louis, it wasn't our history. America's city, that was white folks. And they've been leaving ever since. Ever since they've been leaving, since that American city tag. Everything they've done have been against us. So why are you surprised? I don't know why you're surprised. And those keep saying, oh, well, we took everything they had to throw at us. Sometimes I get tired of people throwing stuff at me. I'm going to find a way to eliminate them from throwing it. See, we may not be out in the streets, but we have to think of some strategies. You just can't go to sleep on this. But they may come out sooner or later. We got to be ready. Be it legislatively, be ready in our neighborhoods, and be ready for the pew, if you know what I mean. Got to be ready all the way around. Because anybody coming doing nothing to me without a fight. I'm going to tell you that. And you all should be thinking the same way. We haven't done nothing to nobody but each other. And if they do something to us, we got to deal with them. And as long as they're doing to them other people, let them do it. Y'all Knicks. No, we've always been us. You're the Knicks. You know what? And when I was living in California, back in the 80s, you know what we used to tell those Mexicans want to get smart and all that? But we didn't know it was going to wait till this day to happen. Because we was like some prophets, I guess. You know, just joking. But look, we would tell those Mexicans and all those other people, you know, you all want to talk all crazy to us. Pretty soon, one day, y'all going to be the new N-word. All right, we're at that time now. They're the new N-words right now. Everything that's going on with these other people, we've been through that. There was this white guy that explaining, he was talking about he was talking about describing a person who was unalive by law enforcement. And it sounded like that guy up in Minnesota, the white guy in Minnesota, said that wasn't him. It was Orlando Castillo. In the same circumstances, it's a white guy in Minnesota. They've been doing that stuff to us all the time. Look how they start dragging people out of cars, having them sit out on the ground in handcuffs over a routine traffic stop. When they just used to just ask for your papers, your not your paper, but your registration, insurance and stuff, and told you why they pulled you over. Now they ready to end up unaliving the person rather than just didn't tell them why they pulled them over. We've been there, done that. Breonna Taylor in a bed. Get unalived in a bed. They've been taking battering rams, breaking in black folks' houses about no knock warrant. Remember over here in East St. Louis a few years ago, they bust into this man's house and he ended up unaliving a state policeman. Can't just bust and be there. Those are really execution warrants. You know why? Because you got to execute them or they're going to execute you. If you break into somebody's house, they don't know what's going on. They're going to be startled. But then when the person is startled, they get shot for being startled. They made certain moves. Look, these is not the movies where you can tell a person freeze and they just stop in their tracks. If you holler at a person freeze, they're going to turn. First of all, you take your mind to process it. They're going to turn in the direction of that voice. They can't help it. It's an automatic human thing. But then when they turn, they get blasted. And these cops know it. That's what they want to do. They want to do that to you. Up in Minnesota, they're treating even white people like the new N-words. And get this, they wonder why we won't get out there with them Latinos and all of them. The two that are unalive, the man in Minnesota, they were Latino. Full-blooded Latinos. The name, the accent, the way they look. This one guy he had an accent, and the ice guy had an accent. And somebody stopped him because he had an accent. The guy told him, you got an accent too. Your own people doing it to you. And you think we're going to get out there and help you? I saw a couple of black ICE agents. And one got on social media to explain why he's an ICE agent. He was telling me, I'm a sellout. He started explaining why we need deportation. He didn't get it. He's totally out of context and didn't comprehend what they were saying. Everyone knows there has to be deportation, as always has been. Matter of fact, the Democratic presidents, like I said, has deported more people than the Republicans have. Many, many more. It wasn't the deportation. It's ICE methods that the people was talking about. That's most of what people talking about, their methods. Because they're really not deporting that many people. They take them to those centers, and after a while, they get let go because they were people who they had no business bringing in anyway. But they wanted to get that quota money. Had to meet that quota. Yeah, but look, so that's most what I most have to say tonight. You know, I'm not worried about Trump and his memes. I'm worried about us. I ain't worried about it, but you know, what make a difference to me is us and what we do to each other. Because you'll learn to be like me. Don't worry about nothing. I don't. It is what it is. This stuff with Trump, don't let this worry you. What business you got worrying about it? It's not going to change anything. He's going to do that stuff no matter what. And they won't stop him. They don't have no type of anything set up to stop Trump from what he's doing. He's thumbing his nose at the courts. They gave him blanketed immunity. So, it is what it is. So, you people who put him in, you're going to have to suffer for it. You immigrants who put him in, well, a lot of you are already up out of here. Well, some of you, because it ain't a lot, because he haven't really deported a lot of people. He's put up a lot of theatrics. But look, I'm not going to hold you long tonight. Besides, I'm beginning to get a little sleepy anyway. I need to start coming on a little earlier. But look, yeah, but that's my message to you. Quit worrying about these people and what they do. It took a photo for you to know. And his policies and all of that didn't do anything. Oh, before I go, this Congressional Black Caucus, they are a worthless bunch. What do they actually do? They don't help with anything. They're out there fighting harder for these immigrants than they do for black people. Fighting hard for those people. I did a show about them the other night on the Congressional Black Caucus. Their mission statement talking about it's for black people and all marginalized people. Well, the Asians has a caucus. The Caribbean has a caucus. The who's that one? The Arabs has a caucus. And then the Latinos has a caucus. I showed them to you the other night. Remember on those caucuses? On every one caucus, they talked about their people and their people only. Only on the Congressional Black Caucus for black people and all marginalized people. Marginalized people, to hell with them. You're supposed to be fighting for black people. Get us some reparation, get us our money. Get us our money. I can use it about now. But we're not going to get it. What's the bill at? What do y'all actually do? What does the Congressional Black Caucus actually do? What do they get done? What bills have they passed? And Jasmine Crockett, I like her. I met her, took a few pictures with her before. But look, don't think because a person can talk loud and they're articulate, excuse me, and they can tell them off, that makes them a leader. Big talk don't make you a leader, don't mean you can handle that pressure. And she may be a good leader, but her big mouth don't make her so. The reason I say that is because many times we think as a person is well spoken, they should be the leader. But what does the what bills have they got passed? What do they do besides talk? And they're talking more for the Latinos, for the immigrants. When the last time you see the Congressional Black Caucus do something for us? I don't know of any. Get that reparations bill passed. We want our money. The Congressional Black Caucus has not done a thing for us. Oh well, I'm gonna call it a night. And but remember that don't worry about them folks. You need to be more concerned with ours doing stuff to us. But they're gonna do what they do. Who cares about him and his pictures, his memes? He's made himself look stupid like a little child. And like I said, it may have been a staffer. I don't believe Trump posting all that stuff. He don't have the cognitive skills to do so. He has people handling that account for him, but it still makes him as equally responsible. But look, I'm not gonna hold you tonight, but I was a boy, very young middle school plays at they play at I think it's in I forget what exactly but they in the state tournament. They play a semifinal game in the morning, and then if they win that they play at 4 in the state championship game for the 8th grade middle school. I'm hoping that they can win both games. It's basketball. But look, thinking so I say congratulations to them and I wish them well that they bring that trophy home. Well, I'm not gonna hold you any longer. My name is Larry Duncan Allen. This has been No More Water. Fire next time. I thank you for tuning in. Please continue to tune in.